One of the more impressive wins by the Flyers this season, taking down the Edmonton Oilers 5-2 this afternoon. Welcome into Postgame Live, presented by Curado Insurance. Al Morgani, Ashlyn Sullivan, back here with you in Philadelphia. And this game had a little bit of everything you could have wanted, especially when you look at responding from that adversity after losing to Calgary just a couple of days ago. We talked about it in pregame. That was one of the more disappointing wins so far this season. Now today, one of the more impressive wins.
Yeah, it was one of the most disappointing losses there. All the losses are disappointing to me at this point because this team is just, they always have a chance, Ashlyn. And they kept hammering it during the broadcast, rightfully so, the fact that they don't let anything get rolling the wrong way against them. Lose a game, then you come back, you win a game. You don't let that. We went through, 10-game losing streaks, and you see what happens here. You think, okay, the momentum might carry you, get some wins in a row here, but not to let it start going the other way. This, to me, was a really important game to win this and finish the road trip above 500.
Right, especially you have the fast starts, you have the lead the whole game, and then you have that third period where you kept your foot on the gas. That was also so encouraging, as it's time for our Game Changer, brought to you by Sloan Automotive. When I said this game had a little bit of everything, how about a Nick Seeler goal as well?
Yeah, right off a face-off. Pretty good face-off win, comes right back. Now, this isn't a cannon or a rocket or anything like that. It's just a, quote, shot on goal. And the shot on goal, if the goaltender, I don't think, can see everything here after the face-off. You see there's some scrambles in front. Looks like there's a lane, reaches with the glove. Picker didn't have a great start to the game, then that one gets through him. And Seeler, he gets robbed of a goal in one game where it was an interference call and the goaltender didn't get it. Puts that one through a little delay on the celebration there, but a good face-off win. They did pretty good in the face-off dot today, which set up a lot of stuff going on. And there you get the goal by Seeler. Like I said, no rocket or anything, but they all count just the same.
Yes, all smiles there for Nick Seeler and the Flyers. A 5-2 win at Edmonton, as we now go back to Edmonton to check in with our Scott Hartnell. Time for the Corolla crossover. And Scotty, this win really impressive. A lot to like. What was your most impressive thing about this Flyers win in Edmonton?
Well, Denver Barky getting his first NHL goal, first of many, to be honest. And I love the defensemen, too, getting in the mix. You just mentioned Nick Seeler, Travis Sanheim with an absolute snipe as well. So the D were active. They were making great plays out of their zone. They were getting into the neutral zone, and not too many turnovers. The one turnover led to McDavid, the breakaway goal. But just it was a solid effort here by the Flyers for 60 minutes. And they played like that continuously. They're going to have a heck of a second part of the year.
So, Scott, you've been with the team a few games now on the road here rather than in the studio with us. What does it mean to get this win, just coming back, the feeling you have coming back after a road trip that you end up on the winning side? And again, don't go down 2 games in a row.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm 1-0 in this suit, so I'm probably wear this the next time that I get color here with the famous Jim Jackson. But no, the winning feelings that you have on the end of a road trip is huge, right? We got about a 5-hour flight back to Philadelphia to get ready for a few game homestand. So for these guys, to chum it up on the plane, play some cards, it's way better when you win a hockey game. If you lose, you can't be too loud because the coaches at the front of the plane are listening to you guys, joke around and all that kind of stuff. So now you got about 5.5 hours of fun on the plane, which is great for the team, great for the energy around this Flyers hockey team.
And Scotty, your record color going up as we speak in the next 5 of 7 games in Philadelphia. This might be the most important homestand of the season for the Flyers. If you had to pick one thing to carry over into that homestand, what would it be?
Well, there was a lot of energy in this building, right? And the Flyers, kind of matched the energy of this crowd. And McDavid, you're playing him. Draisaitl, you try and match the speed, even though you physically possibly can't do it. And I think against Anaheim, Cutter Gauthier coming in, he's had a heck of a start to his second season. So I think the crowd's going to be rowdy in that one. So I don't think there's going to be much trouble getting the energy ready for that first Flyers game of this homestand.
So, Scotty, is there an old guy version of that suit you can bring back to Philadelphia for me?
I might wear it on Tuesday. Back-to-back games, baby. I always love coming to Canada, and when you have no family and no kids, you got nothing to do all day long. So what do? You walk around a mall. Kind of brought me back to my early days in the NHL, and I was like, I'll pick up a couple sport coats because that's what we wear all the time. And anyways, I thought this was kind of hippish, if you will, kind of trying to look a little bit younger.
You look younger.
I agree.
No, you agree. We give you a thumbs up on the suit.
And maybe
Thank you,
Al
guys.
can borrow it as well. That'd be fabulous. Scotty, get home safe. We'll see you back here in Philadelphia soon next week. And now it's time for our PGL Lottery winning moments of the game. Bobby Brink, a goal for him here coming off that Michkov pass as well. Bobby Brink, just the right pass, the right time.
Yeah, Brink gets in front of the net, and that's what they kept preaching early in the season here, like make sure you get in front of the net. This is going to be a dead giveaway with coming up here. Right there, right in the middle of the ice to come in. Puck goes across, then comes back the other way, and Brink standing right there in front. That's what you want to do in front of the goaltenders. Find a spot, hits him in the, I believe, the back of the skate blade here as you're coming across here, right in front of the goaltender. That's the kind of things you want to do in front of a goaltender, whether it's a screen, something can go off of you. So it's quick after the turnover to come in, and Edmonton made a number of turnovers. As did the Flyers through a pretty crazy game in terms of turnovers here. But look at that, leaves it behind, send it across, take the shot, and then go, teammate in front of the net beats the goaltender. That's earned. When you earn that spot, you earn some ice. That's an earned goal.
Yeah, and really when you look at this Flyers game as a whole, great goaltending and the fast start, which is something we're not really used to seeing it so far this season, but it shows when you can get a little bit of a cushion, a little bit of a lead, especially against a team like the Oilers, how much easier it makes the rest of the game.
Yeah, it seems easier, but after you get the lead, you're like, no, don't let this get away. No, you're not used to this. We're not used to this, living like we've got a luxury of a margin for error in this game. But the quick start I thought especially coming off that loss that you mentioned in Calgary, I thought especially to get a quick start in this game with kind of firepower that they have. And they played pretty clean in terms of not taking penalties early in the game in that first period. So overall, very encouraging start to the game. Maybe they'll like it and make it a habit rather than always having to come from behind all the time.
Yeah, maybe we're catching on to something
right.
here. Nick Seeler, 1 of 5 goals for the Flyers here this afternoon. Let's go back to Edmonton. He's standing by with JJ.
Thanks, Ashlyn. You're looking at Nick Seeler, one of many Flyers to have outstanding performances here today. Nick, this was a big one. I mean, there's 82 games. They're all important, but certain ones stick out. Certainly coming back from a loss, playing the defending Western Conference champs in their own house. How big is this one for the club?
Oh yeah, it's huge for us, especially our last game before we go home. We wanted to end the road trip on a good note, and obviously they're a heck of a hockey team, and I thought we did a really good job containing their top guys as best he could, and obviously Vladar played great for us.
You guys are now 13-1-5 following a loss. Now that is a number that if you keep that up, you might be playing into the deep spring, early summer. What is the key there? You guys just a resilient group?
Yeah, I think you said it best there. I think we have a ton of resiliency, and I think we don't get down on ourselves. If we're down early, we always expect us to come back, and our goaltender did a great job, like I said tonight, of keeping us in it. And it's nice to get those 3 goals early, and I thought we did a really good job.
And multiple point game for you. Goal and an assist. The goal, I know, you're not paid necessarily to score goals, but it's good to get rid of the goose egg. You thought you might have gotten rid of it the other night. How nice is it to get rid of it here today?
Yeah, obviously it's nice to get rewarded. That one certainly felt good. So, but like I said, it's nice to go back home on a high note.
All right, Nick, congrats on the win. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
We are back with our Granite Run Buick GMC play of the game. Going to Denver, Barky, his first NHL goal, his first goal as a Flyer. Had a couple of chances really the past couple of weeks, and this is something we kind of saw coming here, Al.
Yeah, what a great first goal. It starts from way back in the defensive zone where he wins the battle, and then, like A.J. Brown, he just breaks into the open field basically with the puck through 2 defenders. Watch this play right through the middle. This is a pretty good pass coming up right here through the middle, but he's got to skate from the defensive zone. It all starts because he won something down at one end of the ice. Here you see the battles going on here. Battle, come out with it. Look at this power turn. Now he knows he has another Flyer in front of that net, so that's risky territory, but he goes in front of it, but then continues to break through, stick down toward the goaltender, and then the Lambeau leap at the end. So it's
a little bit of everything.
It's a hat trick basically on one goal. You want it down one end, you come in, you go through the middle, and you finish it off with a great pass. So just a terrific start for the kid. I can't see enough of him. It's not a mirage. It's been too many games now where he's become too important, and he just seems to fit right in, fold right into what they're doing here.
And that's so key because it was probably the first 3 games you're almost waiting for something to fall off, right?
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, it's all adrenaline, you see this, but But it's the small play that leads to that kind of play. That's what's made it so tremendous. Usually you see the first goal, you see the highlight at the end, you finish it. But when you look at your first NHL goal and you won it in every zone, basically, that's pretty special stuff.
Good stuff from Denver Barky. His first goal as a Flyers. We go to Edmonton to hear from him in the Flyers locker room.
Congrats on the goal.
Take
us through it. What did you see? Obviously, you got Tip setting you up there. What was it your view?
Yeah, I think Coots made a heck of a play in the neutral zone to draw on a D and a little slip pass to Tipper, and then we had a 2-on-1. He made a heck of a pass. All I had to do was kind of redirect it on net, and yeah, I was on the fortunate end of a nice play by those two.
How confident are you in your game right now? Because you made the play also in the defensive end that started the whole breakout.
Yeah, I think game by game, just getting more comfortable and more confident, and just getting more comfortable with my line mates too. I think we're reading each other a lot better as games go on. So just continuing to build that confidence.
And you come out in a place like this, you look down there, you probably see some guys that you grew up watching. Is this one of those NHL moments for you here tonight, coming out here and even better to get the win?
Yeah, it's obviously pretty cool that, you watch those guys growing up, and they're obviously such highly touted, talented players that, have made a difference in this league for years. So it's cool, but just trying to focus on yourself and, raise your game for these kind of games. I think, it was a big game, so elevating your game and, providing your best for the team matters the most.
Your team seemed to have, or your line seemed to have a lot of chemistry tonight. What do you think is helping you guys work so well together?
I think just over time, I think, as many reps you get with each other, you start to get more comfortable. But I think, they've done a great job of making me feel welcome, comfortable playing on their line since day one. So I think that's helped a lot. And just super grateful to be playing with, two really, really talented hockey players.
What was maybe the conversation in between the second and third periods? Because you guys came out pretty hard. I know you only by one goal at a time.
Yeah, I think the conversation in the room was, just don't get on your heels, stay on our toes. I think that's when we're at our best. And we're shutting them down and we're creating offense when we're on our toes. So continuing to stay on our toes and not get back on our heels and start watching the game come to us.
All right, we'll start on Travis.
Love it.
Well, he's already a
coach.
I think, Ashton, what you see there is a great junior program that he came from. Mm-hmm. All the pressure that he's already played through, big games. They come here young in this league, but through a lot of pressure. Watch the World Juniors now, what he's going through. And he's got the whole NHL thing already, Coots and Tipper and this kind of pass. And I know, McDavid and Draisaitl, but it's more important, my two guys here. So we'll add another one to the hat trick. Also knows how to handle the media after the game pretty professionally.
He's been impressive. Even his first game, his first media scrum, a lot of times you'll see younger players, they haven't had experience with that. So it's something that's uncomfortable for them and struggle a little bit to say what they want to say, where with Denver, it was immediate. My reaction after talking to him after his first game was, oh, this kid belongs here.
And you can be intimidating.
Yeah, sure can. I'm a tough reporter, let me tell you.
No, it is. That's a hell of a program that he comes up through, and he's been through, as I mentioned, a lot of these guys, the pressure that they face as kids. I mentioned that tournament going on. It kind of goes over special players like that. I don't think he's going to be kind of wrecked by anything going at him. You throw anything at him, he'll just take it.
Another player that definitely belongs here with the Flyers is Dan Vladar, our GMC Performance Player of the game. Especially you look at that first period. Al and I were talking about it in between periods. This, for Dan Vladar, to have all these chances against Edmonton, firing back in that first period, it's a different game if Vladar is not in the net here. No, and it's kind of the same thing, like not a whole lot of shots, but a quality shots. Right there coming in on the wing there to take that shot and smother, have a rebound kind of direct right there. He knows his defenseman's coming back there. But he made some big saves off the shoulder right there, come in, swallow it up because he doesn't want that rebound right there. Then you see him set himself. There's the one that goes on that angle to go off that shoulder there. Coming in, they lose possession right here. He knows when he has to just kind of get on the puck and just get on the hand grenade and just kill the play. That's what he does right there. Direct that to a teammate in the corner. So this is a terrific game that he had. When we'll see one of the goals that beat him, I don't know how you stop it, but those were critical saves at big times. The numbers, 18, 19, 20, whatever the shot total was, it wasn't that big, but they were big saves at crucial times as they tried to get that comeback, and we know what kind of talent's coming at them. Right. A goaltender, a player that you can count on this season, Dan Vladar. As we now go back to the Flyers locker room to hear from the starting goaltender.
Yeah, obviously, it's a dangerous game every time you guys are going up against an offense like that, but it seemed like a group effort tonight defensively, up and down the lineup. Is that kind of how it looked from your perspective?
Yeah, obviously it's a tough going into it's tough thing to go into the game thinking that you can play up and down hockey against this team. So I thought that everybody played responsible hockey in here, and we just outgrinded them, and we knew that if we were going to play good defense, we were going to have those opportunities, and then we are skilled enough to take advantage of it, and we did. So great for the guys in front of me. I didn't have much of a work today.
It looked like you were seeing the puck very well. Did you get that sense also?
Yeah. I mean, I always like playing in here. It's a good crowd, and obviously a good team as well. But as I said, I thought that the guys did a really good job in front of me, and I thought that we for sure deserved to win today.
How important? I mean, I don't know if there's an importance, but to play, you've played against this team a lot in your career. Does it make you comfortable going up against guys when it's McDavid and Draisaitl?
Yeah. Those are the moments that I think a lot of guys in here are living for. Obviously, if you wanna beat the best, you gotta beat the best, right? So that's what we've been told since we were young. So obviously, we are still not the best, but we are doing everything we can to get to the best spot as we can, and we still know it's a lot of hockey left. But I think that if we are gonna follow the lead and follow our leaders and the coaching staff, that we are gonna be in a good spot.
That was a pretty good third period for a team that you guys are trying to hold them off. What was the key to kind of not giving them much in that third period?
Yeah, we knew it was just playing still the same way. Obviously, make them turn and put in the puck deep, and obviously get on our forechecks, which I thought that a lot of guys had their legs today, and they were skating really, really fast. So it was fun to watch for me.
You're known to be kind of chatty during the games when you go to the bench. Did you say anything to the bench after they scored 2 to cut it close?
No, just breathe, and obviously it's hockey. It's not always going to be perfect, and especially against a team like that, they're going to get their chances, and eventually they're going to capitalize, right? So just trying to be positive as always, and obviously I always had the trust in our group and the guys in front of me. So I was really confident that we can pull those 2 points from here.
We are back with our electrifying moment, brought to you by your local tri-state Toyota dealers. Connor McDavid, you knew he was going to get his, especially, unfortunately, when you give him an opportunity like this.
Yeah, Sanheim already scored a goal in this game, then tried to send it over, but it's sniped by Ekholm, just takes it. And then, if you're a goaltender, it's the worst case scenario. It's McDavid bearing down in on you. If you take a look at this again, when he comes down, here's the turnover, Ekholm sends it up. There's McDavid with speed already coming in. If you're Vladar, you probably think he's going to try one more move, and it looks like he just lets that shot go immediately. One more move or not. When you see those hands moving, we can see it from here. If you're a goaltender, it's like, is there one more? I mean, just one more, and it's a whole different angle on this shot. So I think it looks like Vladar's looking to go. Is he going to go 1 step over? No, he just takes that shot perfectly and scores the goal. I don't know how tough is. You've got to think 3 things at once with that dude coming in at you.
How fast he is. And wanted to know to stay with us here on NBC Sports Philadelphia after Flyers pregame live, postgame live, leading you right into Sixers pregame live. The Sixers playing the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, but still recapping this Flyers win over Edmonton 5-2. Now going back to Edmonton to hear from Rick Tocchet.
Easy to go into a defensive shell in a game like that in the third period, but the attack continued. And that was probably of utmost importance to sealing this off tonight.
Yeah, I think just learning from throughout the year, we don't want to back off. At times we did, and we let them back in the game, but for the most part, I think the group stuck together, tried to play the right way.
Denver Barky on his first goal, as much as the play wasn't nice at the net, the play he made in his own end kind of helped spark that.
Yeah. That's the key, right? Hell of a defensive play, and then playing a 200-foot game. I thought Couture's line was outstanding tonight. They were really good. Coots had a great game. Tip and Barky, they were the main reason why we won tonight.
It just seems that Coots kind of rises to the occasion when he goes up against a guy like McDavid. Do you kind of see that, the best brings out the best kind of thing?
Yeah, it's no easy task. Connor out there, it's impossible to check. He's going to get his chances. You try to limit as best you can, but you almost got to do. Yeah, you need 5 guys. The defense too to help out on that. And like I said, but Coots had a good, he was good for us.
You've talked a lot about bending and not breaking. And what was maybe the conversation in the second intermission going into the third period?
Well, just winning hockey, learning to win. You can't take. You got to be careful under penalties, and you can't back up. You can't. We were throwing a couple of times we got picked off the weak side passes when they were baiting us instead of playing north, and we look at the goals we got in front of the net. So those are just little moments that we're getting better at. But that was kind of the conversation after the second.
I mean, it seems like every game is a lesson, and they also played with the lead tonight and were able to maintain it and get another goal. And is that what you want to see from your club?
Yeah, I mean, it's a young group, so these type of situations, playing against a really good hockey team who's making a push, how do we react off it? You're looking at those things and then try to hopefully stack these good moments together.
And that's the next step for this Flyers team, is stacking more consistent wins. I frankly have never worried, I guess is the wrong word, but wondered if Flyers team is going to level up their play. They've done that the past couple of years where they have big wins over teams that were way higher in the standings than them even last season. This season you don't have that as much, but they always level up their play. And then you sometimes have clunkers to something like a Calgary. And that's, I think, where they have to get more consistent here, where you can count on them night after night.
Yeah, night after night. But there were good signs, though. Especially, I really liked what Tocchet said there about they were a good team coming at us with a push. And I think that was the best thing to take out of this team in terms of learning how to win, to not get shaken by that, Ashlyn, because let's face it, I mean, they're starting to get rolling here. You can't, he really did slide in a couple of important things there. One was the bad penalty. You know, you don't want to harp on anything like that after a win, but that could have been so costly there. Like we talked about it between periods. So guys, he doesn't bench anybody or anything, but he lets it be known, like, we can't do that. We just cannot do that and expect to win hockey games. And I also like the fact that, always say you shouldn't get too high or too low. And some of that comes from the coaches. And believe it or not, players react to what they hear in the media or whatever, and he doesn't let them get away with anything. Mm-hmm. I mean, really hasn't let them get away with anything. Even after a game where it looked like a goaltender had just stoned them, and you can always say, well, tip your hat to the goalie. He's like, no, we didn't get to the front of the net. But equally as important, when they do make a correction, and he was quick to mention it there, because remember, rolled back a couple of games, we couldn't get to the front of the net. Tonight he says, we were in front of the net. Even the goal that went off brink and got to the skates. Like, so if you're going to kind of not push them down, but point out a mistake, you better point out what we learned from that. Look how much better we are at it.
Right, and that's been something all season long, is learning from mistakes, not letting it carry over, and that's why you see this Flyers team right now in the thick of these standings, second in the Metro right now. If you lose this game, you bump back down to a wild card spot. That's how much this will shake even after just one loss. So this remains and keeps the Flyers second place in the Metro, and this is a big month of Flyers hockey. 5 of the next 7 games at home. That's why we talked about with Scott, a really important home streak coming up.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was so important to end this road trip on a high note, because this is a really rough. We'll talk about it later. What's coming up at home is really big games, and they're going to be really tough games, and everything is. But Pittsburgh won. Buffalo finally lost the game here. They were on a roll here. The Rangers, are they dead? I don't think so. They always manage to come back from
last night.
Yeah. So I mean, and Florida. I mean, that's the twice defending Cup champions sitting right there coming in. So this is hardly going to be easy.
Impressive stuff from the Flyers to be second place in the Metro right now. And also that home game Tuesday against Anaheim is the official halfway point to the season.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
Couldn't be better.
So far, so good. If you would have told all of us that at the halfway point they're second in the Metro, we all would have taken that during a training camp.
Or right at the halfway point, we're bringing Cutter Gauthier in. Okay, that's perfect. Let's
perfect storyline.
Party hats on and see what happens here.